Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and pets, welcome back to the Mobile Mayhem North America YAWN Tournament Season 1 Playoff and Grand Final. This is the last day of the tournament. Yes, you are right, you are in here. You are right place at the right time. Make sure to hit a like, hit a subscribe, get your stuff ready, make yourself comfortable, because we're just getting started. The second game between Team Mayhem and Team YAWN, fighting for the third place, is coming up. What you waiting for? Pacey, let's get into the band pick right off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. Already teams underway, ready to go. The Camille not banned this time and does get picked up by Mayhem. Olaf and Fiora are the two bans for this game, which leaves the Ziggs open. So we do see the side of YAWN, of course, grabbing that power pick for themselves. Galio is the answer for the Ziggs. But there's the Varus and the Janna. This is a combo that we're starting to see a lot more frequently, Dave.
Yeah, Varus, Janna, again, free poke, protective poke. I have always loved protection, right? If I've ever become a dad, I would tell my kids to always use protection. It's the most important thing. And then when you come to the game like this, it's just so crucial, you know, especially in competitive games. It's all about a room of error. How much do you allow yourself to be safe, to stay happy, you know, to stay prosper, and it's all provided by Janna. So one of my favorite pick right here. I'm glad to see it getting picked up one more time. Just amazing pick by Team YAWN.
Yep, Kai'Sa and the Braum going to be the answer for the bottom lane of Mayhem. So again, power picks across the board thus far. You know, the first couple of games, always going to be having a lot of these extremely strong champions. It isn't until we get to, you know, game 3, game 4, and, you know, if we're lucky, game 5, where we'll start to see these compositions really get tested, and we'll start to see some, you know, more off the wall, off meta picks coming through. But for now, it's just going to be a lot of, you know, kind of what we're familiar with. You know, there is definitely a little bit of variety, because I will give shout out to the Wild Rift balancing team. There are numerous champions in each role that are viable, which you can't always say about MOBA. So a lot of times you get into MOBA and there's like, if you don't pick these 1 or 2 champions, you're just throwing the game. But my goodness, is that an angle?
I gotta confirm. Is that a real pick? You know, that just seems like an impulse pick, right? Because the timer runs out and we see a freaking Annie being picked up. I mean that. Yeah,
I mean you already have Ziggs, so it doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're deciding to try and run Annie as a support.
Oh, it's Vi.
It is Vi. Okay. Yeah, there are some bugs still to work out on the draft client that we are using. There is no in-game draft that has bans available, and especially no all-round draft clients, you know, in game. So we are using an external draft client. So it is even still a Vi pickup is still something that we don't see very often in competitive.
Yeah. I mean, Vi is really strong, right? Especially Vi offers a lot of early game protection. And then I mentioned in my games that the Vi, a lot of people think it's a pure engage champion, but to my personal belief is Vi is one of the best protecting champion in the game. Protecting jungle in the game, on the support jungle in the game. Early game, if you're able to snowball with Vi, incredible. But when it gets to mid to late game, we need the extra hand, the extra protection. Where's it gonna come from? I think Vi definitely can do that, because Vi late game, if you engages, we know how much damage ADC can do, we know how much damage Mage can do, and if you use Vi as your, if you use your Vi to use your ultimate to engage, you might get dragged way too far into their side of the territory and it just die instantly. So when you have a Vi, you can really use that onto champions who dive onto your team. Let's say Camille, right, is decided to jump in, use the ultimate, and that's when you can use Vi's ultimate to stop, to intercept the Camille, or you can intercept a Kai'Sa who jumps in with the ultimate, right? So basically, you prevent Kai'Sa from ever using the ult. If Kai'Sa uses the ult aggressively, you know what to do, same as Galio. So I always like that pick, and this is the composition they wanted to play backwards. They want to make sure Ziggs stay alive. They want to make sure that the Varus stays alive. And that's why you have Janna. So overall, the composition have a lot of synergy, and I always like a composition with synergy. I don't really care about the champion being the tier S OP pick. Sometimes you draft yourself into a corner by drafting pure meta champions. So I like the Vi a lot. Meanwhile, if you look at the Mayhem's pick, their pick make a lot of sense also. Now, again, we see that very signature characteristic Fizz jungle by Kodo. What do you think about that, by the way?
I mean, we've seen it do okay. I'm not going to say it's done great for him but again, a lot of the matches he's been up against the likes of Goons, and it doesn't really seem to matter what you pick, it's not going to look good against Goons. So it's a little tough to say, just from what we've seen of it. But I mean, it definitely it's getting play in the solo queue, it's getting play in the ranked ladder, so there is definitely something there to it. It has a decent clear speed, it has decent gank potential, especially once you hit 6, if you can engage with that shark ultimate. But it's one of those picks that's just, I feel like there's just better options in the jungle than Fizz, even though I don't think it's necessarily a bad pick.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's all about like your trade-offs, right? What are you wasting? It's not about Fizz being a bad pick. It's like, if you take this champion, like what other champion are you not picking? I think that's a much better argument to put forward, and you're absolutely right on that. So now we're looking at the card score for Team YAWN. Team Mayhem was YAWN 1-2-0 ahead in Game 2. Can YAWN pull off a victory for themselves? Sorry, for Mayhem. Can they pull off victory for themselves and even up the scoreboard? We shall find out. I'm your caster, AssassinDave. With me, the one and only sexy, tasty bacon.
Looks like it is going to be a fairly standard start to this game. No one's trying to invade. No one's skirmishing at level 1. Just pretty much both junglers starting off on their blue side. The only difference is that there is a leash of a little bit of assistance for Kodo on the Fizz, whereas down here, Zenith rank 1 with the Vi is going it alone, which, I mean, perfectly fine. Vi is absolutely capable of clearing by herself without assistance. I've played a whole lot of Vi in the jungle. She has a very, very fast clear speed, very safe clear as well because of the shield.
Yeah, and on top of it, Vi's E just allows her to clear waves so fast. I mean, clear jungle so fast, especially those grouped up minion cans, like the wolf, like the chickens. I mean, raptor camp, whatever they call them. Top side though.
Kodo trying to take advantage of the fact that he is going to have a little bit of a quicker clear, initial clear, I should say, because he did get that help from Camille as they use it to burn the flash of Gragas here in the top side. Now looking for an invade, but not going to be able to find anything as that's already going to be in mid is Zenith. Now we could be getting this 2v2 skirmish that we keep seeing so frequently. The taunt is going to connect, and over the wall goes Kodo to find himself first blood.
Oh my god, even Flash come out from Kodo right there, because Celtic was in bodily harm. This might be interesting.
Nine still in trouble. Over under the turret. Ooh, Sirento almost goes down, but now here comes a rotation from Gragas as well. Is not going to get a kill. Doesn't get the Scuttle Crab either. This is a little bit of a hectic first couple minutes here.
Yeah, but I guess this is one of the good early games that Kodo has pulled on the Fizz. We rarely see a Kodo. I mean, I think there's one game in the first week when Kodo really had a good game on the Fizz jungle. But, I mean, after that, like you said, they've been going against really tough enemies. So, we haven't seen Kodo been pulling off, like, some good Fizz games, or at least comfortable Fizz games. But this is probably one of the most, I think the best early game he probably had in a while, in many, many weeks. So, I'm looking forward to see a great Fizz performance. I personally love, like, unorthodox picks. It does add, a stream of fresh air into the competitive scene. And then it's just really fun to watch, because if you combo that correctly, you cannot sleep on the Fizz late game. If Fizz is able to skill and have early game, it's going to be similar to Rangers and similar to Kha'Zix. It doesn't matter what champion you pick. As long as you have those assassins that are skilling, it's going to be really scary for the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Ziggs, Varus, both going to have to be very wary of the Fizz jumping in the late game, as the possibility of just basically getting one shot is very much real if Fizz gets too far ahead. So they're going to be having to make sure they really focus on vision this game, keeping track of where that Fizz is at all times so that they know where he's going to be looking to gank, where he's going to be trying to make plays happen, and can counteract that.
Yeah. And I want to point out, if you look at all the wording, this is another very exciting thing for all of us to watch and learn all the time. Like, when you have a vision control, because it's kind of like a legal hacking in a way, right? You know where enemies are in a legal manner, and that's how you play the game. That's how you make better decisions. A lot of times, it's not really just prediction. It's like knowing how to predict. Give yourself the advantage to predict, right? And then you look at a blue team, they have boards all over. They know exactly where marksmen are. They know exactly where Galio was. Now over here, though, 9.
That's a very deep dive from the Fizz. He gets the kill. There's ultimate follow-up, but here comes Galio on top of it as well for another knockup. Gets the secondary knockup as well. Finally, the blast core, but is the ignite going to be enough? It is. Cannot quite get to the honey fruit in time, and 2 kills picked up there by Mayhem. A very strong start to this game.
Oh my god. I was saying that Mayhem need to play from a position of strength, and look, what is this, right? This is a position of domination right here. It's a little bit different than just strength. Ooh, speaking of strength, but if you look at MTS trying to do something crazy right here, it might be able to get him killed.
Yeah, very much. I mean, he started to back off because it looked like Fizz was just going to go over the wall and get out to safety, but he got greedy, tried to come back in so that he could get, you know, I don't know if they were hoping to be able to just double up on him with the Camille, or if he was just trying to be able to steal away that Scuttle Crab. But either way, big mistake there from Kodo, as he definitely could have gotten out of there with his life if he had just hopped over the wall instead.
You know, I hate to say this again. I feel like I'm just repeating myself this past few weeks. But then, if you look at Goons, right? That's a team that we try to use as a standard right now. But then if you look at Goons, when they have the scenario in the last team fight where they got 2 early kills, 3 early kills, that much advantage, and the Dragons is up in the map, you never see a jungler try to force a River Scholar, right? This is not priority. Especially the thing is, the Scholar was not on the same side of the Dragon. Getting that Scholar is not gonna help you in any shape or form. Like if you get that, the Rift Herald is not gonna come out in a minute, and by that time the thing is gone anyways, you know. So I don't know, like that's kind of the mistake that Kodo was making, and this is why there's gonna be a team difference. Oh, here we come bottom side.
Yeah, speaking of teams, that's gonna be a team fight here in the bottom lane, not even having to go underneath the turret. They're able to find that first kill on Divide. The Ziggs bomb comes through, but it gets dodged out nicely by Kodo. Just a clean kill pickup there, but what comes from it is going to be very important as well. They did kill the enemy jungler, so could very well look to try and put some attention on the top side where the Rift Herald has now spawned.
Yeah, I mean, as long as, to be honest, as long as Kodo reduce those tiny mistakes or greedy decision making, this is gonna be one of the best game Mayhem's gonna have, to be honest, especially with Fizz, because they got quite a bit. If you look at their composition, they got Galio, they got Fizz. Not traditional mid lane or jungle choices among many competitive teams, but it is Mayhem's best picks, right? Like their signature pick is the pick they're known for, and then that's the game this is the game they're most comfortable with, and they should be winning this match. So, and that's what they need to do. That's what they need to pull off. 5-man mid right now. They're looking to trade this mid tier 1 tower.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking to just brute force this one down. They got the Rift Herald. Not really the cleanest of rotations from YAWN in response to that. And now, just like that, that's going to be a very hard caught buy. And, I mean, Zenith rank 1, he is struggling this game. 0-4 as the fight continues. The Hextech Ultimatum locks in Gragas, but they do end up backing away instead of trying to overextend and overcommit to that fight. So, very good adjustment from Mayhem, recognizing, hey, we gave them 1 mistake kill. Let's not let that happen again.
Yeah, and I really like this decision, knowing that for entire team YAWN, they have 2 people bottom lane, and then they cannot defend mid in time. So getting that mid tower definitely make a lot of sense. And the mid tower is, I mean, I think it's personally speaking, it's the most important turret, tier 1 tower at least on the map. It does open up all the entire jungle invade, open up many entrances to the jungle. And then when I talked to a professional league coach many years ago when I first started playing professionally, he said one thing that's really smart. Like when we talk about map coverage, you just have to treat all the towers like dots, and if you connect all the dots together, that's gonna be where you have protection on the map, right? So taking away the mid tier 1 tower just disconnects the entire jungle. You make this 2 sides of the jungle completely isolated. So that trade, even though they lost the first tower, but getting mid tier 1 tower is a big deal. So big shout out to Mayhem for pulling that off.
Yeah, and right now looking strong for them. That's going to be over the wall, but it doesn't matter. Once that Fizz fish connects, you're going to be getting ulted regardless of how far away you get. And another clean kill picked up for the side of Mayhem. They're just finding these picks one at a time and just making small advantages off of it. They get a pick there, they get bottom turret. Dragon's going to be up in 15 seconds. If they get another pick here soon, they get a free dragon. They are just playing it's a very slow pace, but it is a very effective pace.
Yeah, and the next dragon is coming up. This dragon might as well just give it to Mayhem at this point. I think it's a really good job, like the amount of advantage they had, and they did not make too many goofy plays. It's still a pretty dangerous pick though. Oh, it looks like Ziggs.
That's going to be a quick catch onto the Ziggs, and again, they get the one pick that they need and go for the objective. There is still a chance for a steal. You know, Vi can always get into the pit, but the Gragas ultimate with the big displacement is not going to do enough, and Dragon is secured by the side of Mayhem.
Yeah, and I gotta say, at the same time, it really look like YAWN's giving them this game. Xanus is not getting any luck this game at all. Like, Xanus ranked 1 on the Vi, just being picked off left and right, getting himself in a bad positioning. And you look at just now, why is Ziggs ever going through that river? You know, why is he ever passing through that bush? That's, you know, that's a death bush. You know, like literally at that point, that is, I cannot find any better, you know, explanation than that's simply just a mistake.
Yeah, just a lapse of judgment, perhaps, but Baron is now spawning. Not sure if they're going to go for this right away. You know, they do have a sizable lead on the side of Mayhem, but it's not, you know, it's not a game-ending dominant lead just yet. If they can find a good team fight, then perhaps they can go for this Baron. But right now, their entire game plan has just been individual picks. They get one target and back away. They get one target and back away. They aren't really looking to commit to the all-in team fights just yet. I assume waiting for a little bit more scaling on someone like the Kai'Sa, but that single target assassination that plays right into the Ziggs and Camille playstyle. Both of them love to just go in, focus one target down, and get out.
Yeah, and I want to take a look at a farm right here. Vi knowingly that he doesn't have a lot of farm, he's going full tank right now. He's not even going for Black Cleaver. Not like Trinity Force definitely. If you look at her farm, she's 0-4 and it's just sent for ages. He's going for the full tank route. Oh, before that Fizz.
Okay, he's going to be in some trouble perhaps, but now it's going to be the return from Suki and the rest of the squad. They take down Ziggs. They take down Vi, and it looks like they are ready for team fights now. They're all in on this. They get a third kill, and now they're chasing down the Janna, and Janna will fall. That is 4 kills picked up for the side of Mayhem. And Dave, I think we're finally going to be having one of these best of 5s go to at least a 4th game.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving a game where finally we're going competitive, like it's just incredible. That now we have a Baron going towards Mayhem side. They're definitely pulling out their most comfortable picks. So this might be the turnaround because Baron, they're not ready for it. If you look at everybody's HP, I mean, it's a good decision to go back to reset. Sometimes getting the kills and rushing for objectives might not be the best decision. But I want to go back to my talk on items. If you look at the entire team of YAWN right now, like everybody's building tank except for Ziggs and Varus, obviously. But they're severely lacking damage, severely lacking farm. 7,400 gold on Ziggs, only finishing 1 item. Right, there's not so much item at all. We're looking at Galio, we're sitting at 9,000 gold. Already have Leandre's, I have Rod of Ages. He's doing a lot more items, gonna be a lot more impactful, especially comboing with Kodo Zora on the Fizz. So like we've seen them doing it over and over again, right? When Kodo jumps in and Galio on top of him. But right now we're seeing a little bit of disconnect from Team Mayhem, but they're still gonna start a Baron though.
And they actually decide to stop the Baron take instead of just committing to it. They, I guess decide they want to get a kill before they go for it. But I mean, no one was really making their way up there. They probably could have just committed to that Baron take and gotten it. Instead, now perhaps a team fight here in the mid lane, but not a whole lot of ultimates connecting. Chains of Corruption is going to do some work. The Ziggs Bomb not really going to do a whole lot here either. But the Varus arrows are, and there's going to be Vi going in. So you're going to get goes golden, but ends up dropping. That's going to be now suddenly a potential turnaround here for YAWN off of a bit of, like you said, it seems like miscommunication from the side of Mayhem. Just like that, they lose 1 as the dragon spawns. YAWN are able to get gain some ground on the map and get themselves a second dragon for the game.
And it's going to be a Cloud Dragon. It's probably the most crucial dragon scaling to the late game. The reason why for Cloud Dragon, I mean, ever since Cloud Dragon, all the 4 Dragon came out, the Inferno Dragon, Claw Dragon has always been the most important ones, and the reason for that is not because their stats were so good, it's because the characteristics, the nature of those stats. One is the pure damage, and Cloud Dragon is the movement speed. And when you talk about movement speed in this game, I don't think there's anything more important than just pure damage output and movement speed, because it does affect your rotation speed, which like affects how fast you can go from side to side, map like lane to lane, in order to pull off the strategies that you want. So overall, it's gonna speed up the team game for a really fast topside though.
And that's going to be a quick engage here with the Hextech Ultimatum. They're looking to find the kill on the Zenith. They do get him down, but they lose a lot of health in the process. Nice Perry shot. Almost falling. Not quite going to be enough to answer. Janna gets some healing in there to stay alive, but does end up falling ultimately to the Galio. So 2 kills picked up by Gragas. He wants some blood, but he's not going to find it. As Mayhem, they're still putting up strong fights, but YAWN is slowly looking like they're trying to come back. Even though they did lose 2 members there and didn't get any kills from themselves, it was nowhere near as bad as the previous all-in team fight that we had.
Yeah, definitely we're seeing a lot more confident Mayhem, and they gotta do this. Right now they have tied up their communications, because like I said, we can see a miscommunication or disconnect from the way how they communicate, right? You see a few people are doing one thing, and then there are a few people doing another. It doesn't seem like they're diving in all together. For example, going on Vi, like you can see the chaotic juggling on the tower aggro. It wasn't organized. It didn't seem like it was planned. Somebody was tanking it and then have to jump out. It seems kind of chaotic, even though Braum was taking most of the damage here. And I do want to say, the later this game skills, it's going to be scarier, because MTS on the Grag is going to scale even further. And you already see how much damage he's doing to a freaking Fizz, right? As time goes, and the Grag start finishing those core items, if he finished Dash Cap, for example, if he chose to, instead of going full tank, it's going to be really, really scary how much damage output can do and how much impact he's going to put onto the entire team fight.
It's definitely scaling up later and later in this game. Both teams do have some strong scaling options. Obviously, the Varus and the Kaisa both get incredibly powerful as the late game rolls around. Ziggs gets incredibly strong the later the game goes on, as well as the Galio. So there is plenty of scaling from both sides, but it's still very much in favor of the side of Mayhem. But YAWN, they are fighting back. They are not going down quietly here in game number 2.
And this is the Pokemon power come online.
Oh my goodness, Braum. Look at the top side of Braum. He's going to just get melted. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, it is Gragas and Camille skirmishing, but nothing really coming from that. Instead, it is the side of YAWN getting that kill and going after this Baron. If they pick up this Baron buff, they're suddenly, I would say they're right back in this game.
Yeah. You cannot be wishy-washy against the comp. Oh, Galio!
Galio gets in, gets the taunt. Camille gets over, and Red Team gets the kill onto the Varus, but Mayhem does get YAWN gets the Baron. There's a lot of things popping up on the screen all at once. Got a little mixed up in my mind. But yes, the Baron goes to YAWN, but Mayhem gets the 2 kills off the back of it. So only 3 members have that Baron buff, but the Baron buff is present on the side of YAWN.
Yeah, and the outer Inferno, the outer Ocean Dragons coming up. This is only gonna add Soul to injury, because right now, if you have the Baron buff, it's not gonna help you that much in team fights. And if you look at Mobile Mayhem, their entire team is ready to fight, and they have 5 people ready here for this Elder Dragon. If they get this Elder Dragon, it's literally game over right here.
Elder Dragon extremely low, and no one from the side of YAWN is able to get into the pit, and Elder is secured. It's only a 2-Dragon Elder, but it is still an Elder buff for the side of Mayhem. And this game is just getting tenser and tenser as we continue on. I don't even know if tenser's a word, but it is definitely going to be an exciting finish to this one.
Yeah, if you look at the both side, I was just saying that when Mayhem need to play their comp decisively, they cannot be wishy-washy against entire team of Team YAWN, because Team YAWN have a lot of poke. If you were kind of like, deciding whether I should cross the street or not cross the street, that's where you're gonna get into a car accident. You just have to cross, you just have to decide, I gotta go in, I gotta do it now. And especially now they have Outer Ocean Dragons, gonna give themselves a lot of life steal in those team fights. It's not as much as as you correctly pointed out, is 4 dragons, but having 2 dragons still insane amount of life, still over 12%. And on top of it, you do a lot of true damage. They need to fight, and it's all come down to the next team fight. It's all come down who is going to have a better clear, better engaged, better, more crystal engaged, more tied up team fight. So if they would do that, I think they can win easily, because Elder Dragon is such a game changer. And you can see, yes, Team YAWN got the Baron buff, but at what cost? And it doesn't really help them right now. The Baron buff is gone. You know, it's all come down to the Elder Dragon. Eventually, all come down to who has the better skilling. And Elder Dragon in Wall Rift is permanent. So you're gonna have so much lifesteal coming in from the entire team of Mayhem. And I think this game, they got it in the bag if they just tied up the communication for the next team fight.
Well, that next team fight might be happening sooner rather than later, Dave, as everyone is starting to posture up and try and push in. The Baron is going to be spawning in about 45 seconds. I wouldn't be too surprised if they just kind of, play this dance here in the jungle and mid lane until that Baron objective is alive. It's really, the onus is going to be on YAWN. They're the ones that have to try and find the engage, because otherwise, with the priority position that Mayhem have secured themselves, they can just fight back to the Baron pit and look for an engagement there. Whereas YAWN, they're the ones that have to go aggressive. They need to be able to get up, push the line of scrimmage forward until they can get some extra vision over in that portion of the map. Because right now, by the Baron buff, it is completely dark.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. For YAWN, they do have a path to victory, though. Like, because again, their competition is focused on poke, and if they're able to out-poke their enemy just like they did throughout the entire game, especially the last Baron fight, that's how Mayhem was able to lose the Baron. If they're able to out-poke their enemy again, and it's just staying a safe distance, keep on poking, get better vision control, know where enemies are, know what potential engages are, they're gonna be fine. Because even though enemy have Elder Ocean Dragon, it really would only work if they're able to hit you, right? If they can't do damage, then the lifesteal doesn't really do anything. So they have a poke composition, and then they need to all poke them, try to prevent this Baron buff, and here it comes.
Oh, there goes Galley right on to his target on Zenith rank 1. He's getting taken down solo, but doesn't fall yet. Camille is going to be locking down Vicky, though. Varus went a little bit too far forward. Goes golden, tries to get out, but is not going to be able to survive forever, as that's going to be a couple of kills picked up there. Everyone on the side of is low, and YAWN is just falling. 4 members down, and it's only MDS Amazing. He's trying to chase down Perry just to get a consolation kill, but this is going to be game over as 4 members were taken out. Only Suki dropped on the side of Mayhem, and they finally finish off the ace. They can push in with this wave of minions in the bottom lane. They're pushing in the mid lane too, but they should just be rotating to the bottom side of the map and taking down this Nexus with Camille.
Yes, this is the Mayhem we would like to see. A team that play from a position of power, position of strength, play in a position of confidence. I mean, they should play every game like how they picked up I hate to say this, but how they pick up a jungler Fizz, how they pick up a Galio mid. I mean, they should play every game like this when they have the most comfortable champions they have, and then just play really confident. Play like they have a game plan. Play like knowing they're going they have a clear path to victory, knowing what to do next. That's the most important thing. And I think the biggest improvement that for Team Mayhem they need to do is just tighten up those communications. Now you gotta have a really, really big confidence boost from this victory, knowing that you can win, you can get a 3rd place in North America competitive scene. So they should just tighten up the communication, have a clear shot caller, and listen to the shot call altogether. I think they probably got this in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, this looked very strong for them. Of course, a lot of it did hint on the fact that they completely shut down Zenith in this game. Zenith was never able to get going on this Vi, and I can talk from firsthand experience, if you get shut down early on Vi, you feel awful through the rest of the game, because there's not really anything you can do. You can't go aggressive because you're just going to die immediately. You can't really offer much protection because you don't have the damage to be able to really pose a threat to anyone that you're trying to stop from diving your backline. Yeah. You just feel like you feel out of sorts because there isn't a whole lot that Vi can do when she gets shut down the way that she did in this game.
Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're gonna go ahead and take a short break. Do not go anywhere. The third game between Team YAWN and Team Mayhem is coming up, and now we'll decide who's gonna go to the match point first. And after this match, we're gonna have the grand final today with Team Tribe versus Team Goons. The most anticipated match of the entire tournament is gonna be best out of 5 right here on Trovo.live. If you're watching the stream, haven't go to Trovo, make sure to use the link in the chat. Right now, to head to Trovo for the grand finals. So the grand final will be casted on Trovo exclusively. What you're waiting for? We'll see you guys on Trovo in a little bit.